Hi, this is Nathan Caldwell. You may know me from Protectorate Productions, protectors of the book, Team Jadeth Live, Dr. What. Well, I'm starting a new show. It's called Protectorate Productions Comedy Showcase. You will hear things from classic Team Jadeth Live, some new items, and I'm hoping to get some other podcasters on board by simply asking them if I could use some clips from their shows. Maybe even from shows long ago. Well, jump into the adventure with me, because here we go.
Ah, yes, I finally figured out the answer to the controversy regarding the COVID vaccine. Ah, yes. Here's Roughly Dangerfield to tell you more. I tell you, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I went in the other day to get a vaccine, and it was like a shot in the dark. I tell you, they looked and tried to find my arm 5 times, and they still couldn't figure it out because they couldn't find the needle. Finally, I said, hey, why don't you turn on the light? Everything was fine after that. Just letting you know that last bit had nothing to do with the medical profession. It was a play on the thought that many people think the vaccine is a shot in the dark. And I'm just playing on the phrase, shot in the dark, because Roughly Dangerfield was getting a shot in the dark. So, sadly, I have to explain that. But anyway, I've actually been vaccinated, but you have to decide for yourself. Is it right or wrong for you?
Ah, the glorious out of doors. Ah, I see a wild creature out here. I think it's a... Oh, crud. Oh, man. It's a bat free. Guys, listen to this sketch by John Bell. I've got to hide. Hold on. I had to hide. I had to get in the building. That bat frees are dangerous, man. They are dangerous. Oh, okay. I think I'm safe now. Bells in the Bat Free, John Bell's show, can be found at thebatfree.com, on the Mutual Audio Network, and finer podcast sites. Finer podcast sites? John, are you sure that's what I was supposed to read?
Hello, everybody in the Bat Free. I'm back. I didn't buy a car.
Mr. Bell, come in the big screen TV room. There's something on the news you gotta see.
All right, I'm coming. All right, I'm in here. What?
Just look at the big screen TV, Mr. Bell. Just look at the news. See what's going on?
No, all I see are big multicolored dots kind of floating around.
Yeah, those are the pixels.
The what?
Pixels.
Pixies?
Not pixies, pixels. The individual dots that make up the picture.
Wait a minute. If we're seeing the individual pixels, how big is this big TV?
It's a 2,000-inch TV, Mr. Bell.
2,000?
A guy named Frank installed it for us.
The preceding was a shameless suck-up reference to a rather obscure Weird Al Yankovic song from years past. We're hoping that Mr. Yankovic is so impressed that we know his older songs that he'll consent to be a guest on this show. If you know Mr. Yankovic, please mention this to him. And now back to the show.
I didn't one of his best.
No, it's kind of lame,
anyway,
actually.
what were we talking about?
Oh, you wanted to show me something that was happening on the news.
Oh, that's right, but to see it, we're going to have to step back a little bit so we can actually see the picture on this 2,000-inch TV.
Okay, well, let's get a little further away so we can see it then.
You want to stop and get some tacos on the way?
I thought you said this was important.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Here. Can you see what's happening on the TV now?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
All right.
See anybody coming from that side, Mr. Bell?
No, you're all clear, Arnie.
Okay.
Don't forget your turn signal.
There, Mr. Bell, can you see it now?
Yeah, it's a newscast. I can't hear it, though.
Put on those headphones, you'll be able to hear it, Mr. Bell.
Okay, let me get these on here.
Was in heaven for about 20 minutes as a load of llamas fell off.
Arnie, they're talking about llamas. What does this have to do with anything?
It was a completely different story a few minutes ago, Mr. Bell.
Well, Arnie, the news doesn't wait for you to go get somebody and come back. They keep doing new news stories.
Yeah, but this is cable news, Mr. Bell. It'll come around again in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Returning to a story that we haven't driven into the ground just yet.
Just in time.
Apparently, a superhero is amongst us. This was the scene at a press conference earlier today.
I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. My name is Brad Motworth.
Oh, no, don't mention the show. Don't mention the show.
I'm with Bells in the
You
Bat
mentioned
Freak,
the show.
And this is a new superhero who's here to protect everybody.
I told him to...
Introduce yourself, sir. I am...
The green skunk.
Poobah Man.
Who?
Yes, you heard correctly. Brought to you by Mother Poobah's Fried Cabbage Ring Takeout Stand. This superhero is available for any heroic deeds at a minimal charge.
Mr. Motworth, do you have any proof that this man is capable of any superhero deed doing?
Of course I can. Look at this surveillance video from the front of the Bat-Free building just last episode. Look, this female nefarious evildoer, whose face has been pixelated so you can identify her as a super evil deed doer, is trying to break into the Bat-Free office. But here comes here comes Poobah Man. He bends over and...
That evil super doer sure dresses nicely, doesn't she?
Yeah, sure does. So if you need a costumed Avenger to take care of any kind of crime, call the number on your screen right now, and Poobah Man will be there.
What about me?
Oh, yes, with his sidekick, Side of Slaw.
Side of Slaw?
Best I could come up with.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Brad has taken this 2-bit superhero and has sold it to a client.
What's not to believe, Mr. Bell? I mean, it is Brad.
You've got a point there, Arnie. Okay, take me back to the Bat-Free. I got to talk to Brad about this whole thing.
Okay, Mr. Bell, but it may be just a little problematic at the moment.
What do you mean, problem?
Before there was That Story Show with James Kennison over at nlcast.com that stood for Nobody's Listening. Here's a clip from that old classic version of what is still a good show today.
This week, something crazy that happened to me. I was in Target. You were there.
Yeah, I was there.
And all of a sudden, this guy comes up behind me. He's like, "Hey, James," and I turn around, and it's Dennis. He's one of our. He's a guy I work with, and at my church, and so I'm like immediately wanting to introduce him because my family's all around. My sister-in-law, our sister and brother-in-law, my wife, and all these, and my brother. And so I'm like, "Hey guys, have you met Dennis?" You know. And so they're doing introductions. Well, the thing is, and David knows this now, but may not have known it at the time, is Dennis only has one leg.
Yeah, he
from the knee down. He was in a
motorcycle accident 7 years ago.
Lost his leg from the knee down. Wears a prosthetic, and he's really cool about it. And so I was wanting to show this off a little bit. So I start checking his legs.
I was wondering what James was doing because he was tapping Dennis's right leg.
I start kicking his both legs. With my foot, and I found the one. You know, I couldn't remember which one it was, but I found one that was really hard. So I start kicking it over and over and over again. So that the point was so that the family would go, "What the heck are you doing? Why are you kicking this man's leg?" Well, dude, we're going about 15 seconds into this, and finally he turns to me.
He just pauses the conversation with everybody.
Says, "James, that's my real leg, dude."
All serious.
It wasn't funny.
James, you're kicking the wrong leg.
It was horrible. And I was immediately feeling so stupid because it's like he's like, "I was gonna try to fake you out and not do anything." He says, "But it started really hurting because you kept kicking in the same spot."
Listen to Fred Passmore and John Lawhan from sheeplaughscomedyshow.com.
man, ready to go?
Sure am. We're going
witnessing! Okay, why don't you read over the checklist?
You got it. Steak?
Check. No guard dog will be able to resist this juicy morsel.
Okay, neighborhood map?
Right here.
Oh, man, you shouldn't have unfolded it. Now, don't worry about it. Boombox with Christian hip-hop?
Check. We playing the fat beat for the happy feet.
Okay. A sax of tracks.
Right here. Oh, man. Sorry, didn't see your foot there.
There's something we're forgetting. I know it.
Oh, I remember. The paper bags.
Of course, we can't forget the paper bags to go over our heads.
Yeah, otherwise all our friends would recognize us.
Yeah, I can't have that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, boy. Watch where you're going, buddy.
What are you doing?
I can't see.
Man, I love being a fish. Just swimming all day, drinking as much as I like.
You said it, bud. It just doesn't get any better than this. Hey, you fat, juicy worm, go get 'em, boy.
Something smells fishy here. Oh, my mama told me to watch out for free meals, because there's usually a string attached.
Your mama was a holy mackerel, swimming around preaching to everybody to watch out for the big, bad devil fish.
Hey, my mama was an angel fish.
Forget that old hag fish. Now, what are you, a chicken of the sea?
Well, it does look pretty tasty. Hey, this is delicious. Wow! Give me a fin!
Sorry, Charlie, you should have listened to your mama, boy. Fools like that make it such fun being a devil fish.
And here's this week's Old Time Radio moment, brought to you by the Retro Radio Podcast and Keith Helsley.
And now from the land of motion pictures, we bring you a young man who calls one of his teeth Sam, because it's the gold one. And here he is, Gary Moore.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my friends, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, Howard, I don't want to be nosy, but did you make that Goldwyn joke up all by yourself?
I certainly did, Gary. I made it up out of my own head.
Well, this is no time for wood carving. Besides, but let's say hello now to a man who's got just the beak for an Eagle Scout, Jimmy Durante, in person.
You've got to start off each day with a song.
Oh, sing it, Jimmy.
Now, even when things go wrong.
You're a philosopher, boy.
Now, you feel better, you even look better. Bigelow. Either my voice is getting bigger or my tonsils are developing middle-age spread.
Oh, Jimmy, you're really an artist. You know, how do you achieve such perfect pitch?
Junior, the secret of my voice is this tuning fork. I'll show you how it works. I strike the fork on the table and hold it up to my ear. How do you like that? Somebody's been eating potato salad with it. Don't just stand there, Junior. Wipe the mayonnaise off my ear.
Jimmy, you're quite a sight. I hope you look better than that in your picture, Music for Millions.
Don't mention pictures to me. From now on, me and Hollywood are null and also void.
You're not happy, James?
No. When I was making Music for Millions, the director, Henry Costa, said, Durante, in this picture, we're going to make you handsomer than Van Johnson. To get this special effect, he said, we're going to photograph you through cheesecloth. So for 6 weeks, they photographed me through nothing but cheesecloth.
Well, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Ever since the picture's been out, I've been getting proposals from mice. I wouldn't mind, but what am I going to do with this Roquefort engagement ring? But that's neither to nor fro, another log on the fire. The other evening, I was sitting at home putting a toupee on an apple. You see, it was a Baldwin. When I gets a call from one of the biggest officers in the Army, General Motors.
What did General Motors want with you, huh?
They wanted me to come to Detroit to design a new post-war automobile.
Oh, good. Were they interested in dual carburation with hydromatic transmission or double manifold with interlocking transmission and pinions?
I demand you repeat that.
Now, let me put it this way. Were they interested in fluid transmission with the hydraulic overdrive, or do they prefer double-head gasket with wing nuts?
That's different. I accept your apology. You remember, Junior, that I am a busy man with interests all over. But, Junior, we're digressing. What was the last point we were discussing on the agenda?
On the agenda? Well, you had just told me that General Motors had sent for you to come to Detroit.
Oh, yes, so he did. Well, I goes to Detroit, and arriving at the factory, I'm confronted by a big guard who said, "On your way, bummer, I'll push that nose so far back in your face, you'll smell coming and going." So I ups to him and I says, "Oh, yeah? Go ahead and try it."
That's telling him, Jimmy boy. What happened?
I now smell coming and going.
Well, I suppose eventually you got inside.
Indubitably.
That's good.
No sooner than I steps in the gate, they shows me to my laboratory. And, Junior, what a joint.
Showed you the what?
I said it and I can spell it.
Your laboratory, and what happened?
And, Junior, what a joint it was.
Yeah?
There's a button to work the window. There's a button to work the door. There's a button to work the ventilator. There's a button to work my swivel chair. But there's only one thing missing.
What's that?
There's no button to work the buttons. Anyway, I goes to work in my new car, and what a car. It has a white-walled carburetor, collapsible fenders, and also plastic air conditioning.
That sounds very elegant, James.
Yes, it was. When it was finished, I called a meeting of all the big automobile manufacturers and said, "Gentlemen, this car goes to the highest bidder." Egad, Junior, what a commotion. Ford bids $10 million. Chrysler bids $20 million. Packard bids $30 million. And Cadillac bids $50 million.
Well, who finally bought it?
The smiling Irishman. Now you know that you can't go wrong. Why, you can start off the day with a song.
Well, that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. See you soon.
Have a good day, and remember, laughter, it's a really good medicine.